Department of Geography and Geology. Jesse is the president of our Urban and Regional Planning Student Club, and Maia is the treasurer of our student club. They're very, very active in the community. In fact, if you guys were to attend a public meeting in Ypsilanti, you'll probably find Jesse and Maia taking vigorous notes there and raising their hand to raise ruckus and ask a couple of questions, right? So Jesse is very, very interested in public policy, public administration, and politics, and how that intersects, if you will, with urban planning. And Maia is very interested in nonprofit management. So really, they're the perfect team for this project. And their project is all about surveying businesses in Ypsilanti to see if these businesses are incorporating sustainable practices in their everyday operations, and what, if anything, can public-private partnerships do to further this, if you will. So without further ado, Jesse and Maia.
Okay, so I want you guys to think about the last time that you got gas for your car and how much you paid for it. It was probably somewhere around $4 a gallon or so. Currently, Obama is proposing expanded tax credits to make energy-efficient cars and more alternative energy vehicles more attractive to buyers. Also, I want you to think about the term Main Street versus Wall Street and the rising importance of supporting local businesses. Both of these topics are extremely controversial, and both of them relate to the sustainability movement. And I think the question here is, what role does the government play in the rising importance of, I'm sorry. Okay, so what role should the government be playing? Energy is a project that seeks to understand public and private partnerships and how they can assist local businesses in downtown Ypsilanti to become more sustainable.
Two ways that the city and local businesses can save money is by taking part in sustainable practices, such as buying energy-efficient products and recycling. They can also save money by combining resources with the other local businesses within the community and with the city itself. By engaging in these practices, it can produce a profitable outcome for both the local business and the community as a whole.
Okay, so there are three questions that we were trying to answer in our research. The first question is, what are the businesses and local businesses in downtown Ypsilanti currently doing to be sustainable? The second is, what is the city doing to encourage sustainability in these local businesses? And the third is, how can public and private partnerships collaborate to make these businesses more sustainable?
First, in order to figure out these questions, we identified each of the local businesses in downtown Ypsilanti. We thought that was a big feat to survey all those businesses, so we separated them into 5 categories based on what they sold or the service that they provided, and we did a random sampling to select 25 of those businesses. Then we distributed the survey. Turns out that we were underwhelmed with how much surveys we got back, so we expanded our sample to all the local businesses in downtown Ypsilanti. By doing this survey, we wanted to review their current sustainable knowledge about sustainability. We wanted to determine whether or not they're engaging currently in sustainable practices, and we wanted to determine whether or not they'd be more interested in becoming more sustainable. Then we took a look at the public sector, and we determined what they're currently doing to be sustainable. We determined what they could be doing in order to promote sustainability in their community. And then we looked at potential partnerships that could form in order to help local businesses increase sustainability.
Okay, so there were several obstacles that Jesse and I faced when we were surveying. Many of the businesses were only open certain days and times. The business owners were too busy or unavailable, or they were just not interested in our survey or just uneducated on sustainability in general. So out of the 56 surveys that we distributed, we got 14 back, which gave us a response rate of 25%. Okay, so the first open-ended question that we asked business owners was, how do you define sustainability? And many people didn't answer this question actually, but the few that did answered it with things like supported or efficiency or long-lasting, and some also answered saying, I really don't understand sustainability.
When looking at their current sustainable practices, we asked them about whether or not they know about transit benefits, or whether or not they take part in them, whether or not they recycle, or whether or not they compost. While looking at the data we collected, we noticed that most people are able to put their pop can in a recycling bin and do the most simple form of sustainable practices. But when asked about transit benefits or composting, a more challenging process, they're not as likely to do it just because it's not directly relating to them. When looking at travel, how do you travel to work, and do you offer transit benefits to your employees? Most people did travel to work by car, and we actually asked where the local business owners lived, and they actually lived very close, and they still traveled by car. And we asked, do you offer transit benefits, and most of them didn't even know what transit benefits were. So I think that relates like how auto-dependent our society is, and how just by walking to work it could be more sustainable and save money for the business. When asked how knowledgeable they are about sustainability, a lot of people, or a lot of the local business owners knew about solar Ypsi just because it's in Ypsi and the City Hall has solar panels now, and it's a very popular thing going on. They knew about Energy Star. A lot of our local businesses had Energy Star appliances. But the thing we found most interesting is no one knew about rebates or incentives, which in order for people to participate in sustainability, people need incentives, and the government needs to support this movement. When asked of reasons for not recycling, most people said it was difficult or a hassle, and we came up with the conclusion that if the city provided more curbside recycling bins and services, then people would simply put their bottles and their recyclables in the bins. That would fix the hassle part of being sustainable. When asked if interested in becoming more sustainable, we were shocked to find that the least amount was interested, but most people were in fact neutral, which means that obviously people don't really know what sustainability is, and by educating the people in the community, I think they would at least have an opinion on it and not be so apathetic about the whole movement in itself.
Okay, so what is the city doing? The Ann Arbor Transportation Authority provides the RIDE, which is the public transportation system that extends to Ypsi. This gives employers alternative transportation options. Also, the Ypsilanti Farmers Market, the City of Ypsi and Growing Hope have partnered. Growing Hope is the local nonprofit organization that does community gardening, and so they have partnered to bring local food to Ypsi twice a week during the warmer months. Also, there is a committee, the Climate Action Committee, that meets regularly. It's the City of Ypsi, and it's the collaboration with the City of Ypsi and the Michigan Suburbs Alliance, and also residents within Ypsi. They meet and they talk about goals and strategies on how Ypsilanti can become more sustainable. Also, there's information on the city's website about ride sharing, travel demand strategies, also Solar Ypsi, the Ypsilanti Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, and the RIDE, just information about the public transportation.
All right, some ideas that we came up with what the city could do to promote sustainability was, first of all, educate. We found from all of our findings, people just don't really understand what sustainability is, and just by educating them, it would definitely help out the cause. They could require LEED certification for any new development requiring tax abatement. They could highlight savings from weatherization. They could use other local businesses like the Ypsilanti Food Co-op, who's using the solar panels, as an example and utilize their great ideas. And they could fund compost or recycling programs for local businesses, and they could provide community rewards to program encourage energy efficiency.
The city can also provide incentives to have biking and walking employees. They can charge the employers for parking spaces per the amount of employees they have. They can give tax credits to employers that have biking and walking employees. They also can collaborate with the RIDE to offer the Go Pass to Ypsilanti's DDA. Currently, Ann Arbor does this. The Go Pass is essentially a discounted bus pass that they provide for all the businesses within the Downtown Development Authority area of Ann Arbor. And I spoke with the people at the RIDE, and they're hoping to expand this to Ypsi, so I guess it's just a matter of time. Also, the city can offer microloans and microgrants to businesses for direct and positive change.
All right, so how can we initiate this change? First of all, EMU can help. Currently, the business program at EMU is partnering with local businesses in Ypsilanti to create a new business plan. What if we had an environmental program who could partner with both the students and the businesses to promote this sustainable development? Second, we have the second largest historic district in Michigan. We should probably start weatherizing more if the buildings are that old. That could really save on energy. We should create more motivation and incentives for local business owners. Again, if people are going to change their ways, they're definitely going to need motivations and incentives in order to do so. They could hitch a ride on the sustainability train. Again, rock and roll was once considered radical and scary too, but 10 years from now, I guarantee everyone will want to be sustainable. And then the main point of the whole project, the partnership. And I think when we were deciding these things, it's not just the local government and the local business. And we decided like the nonprofits should be incorporated, the students at EMU, everyone should team up and really promote this growth. The definition of radical is root. Let's go back to our roots and team up and harness our skill sets and utilize them all together. Thank you.